The knock on my door came with 2 police officers and a smirking woman holding a clipboard like a weapon. "Mr. Walker, we have a noise complaint filed against you," the officer said, and my stomach dropped instantly. Behind him stood Deborah Voss, HOA president, arms crossed, eyes gleaming with a satisfaction I didn't understand yet. What she didn't know was the fine she just triggered would land on her. Not me. 3 months earlier, I'd moved into Willowbrook Estates thinking I'd found the perfect quiet Ohio suburb. Deborah ran that HOA like a personal kingdom, patrolling streets in her golf cart, camera phone always ready. My first violation came within a week. My mailbox was the wrong shade of black, apparently. I laughed it off and repainted it, figuring one cranky neighbor wasn't worth a fight. Then came the fine for trash cans left out 4 hours past the approved window. Then a warning letter for grass, half an inch too tall. Measured, she claimed, with an actual ruler. Every fine had her signature, her stationery, her unmistakable flourish under HOA president. Neighbors whispered she'd bankrupted the Petersons 2 streets over, foreclosing their home over unpaid HOA liens. I started keeping copies of everything. Every letter, every fine, every date and timestamp. My neighbor Carla warned me quietly, "Don't fight her publicly. She controls the board votes." But I noticed something odd. The HOA's bank statements, posted at meetings, never quite added up. One evening I mowed my lawn at 4 p.m., well within community hours, nothing unusual at all. 20 minutes later, squad cars pulled up, responding to a noise complaint Deborah herself had called in. She said the mower disturbed a HOA board meeting happening at her house. The officer explained, almost apologetic. Here's the twist. Deborah's meeting was actually a private lunch with the HOA treasurer. No board present. I asked the officer for the exact time of her call. 3:47 p.m., before I'd even started mowing. She'd pre-filed the complaint, expecting to catch me in the act, planning it like a trap. The officers, unimpressed by a timestamp lie, actually cited her for filing a false police report instead. Deborah's face went white, her clipboard nearly slipping from her manicured fingers in front of everyone. "This is a misunderstanding," she stammered. But the officers weren't interested in HOA politics, only facts. Word spread fast through the neighborhood group chat. Karen got fined by her own summoned police. I should have stopped there, satisfied, but something about her panic told me there was more to find. That night I filed a public records request for every HOA financial disclosure from the last 2 years. 3 weeks later, documents arrived, and buried inside was the real twist I never expected. The special assessment fees charged to residents for a fake retaining wall repair went straight to Deborah's personal account. Nearly $40,000, siphoned quietly, disguised as landscaping invoices from a company that didn't exist. I remembered Carla's warning about the Petersons. Their foreclosure wasn't about late fees, it was retaliation for asking questions. Suddenly, every petty fine made sense. She wasn't enforcing rules, she was silencing anyone who might look closer. I brought everything to a lawyer, who laughed grimly and said, "This isn't a dispute, this is fraud." We filed a civil suit, a fraud complaint, and requested an emergency HOA board audit simultaneously. At the next community meeting, packed wall to wall, I stood up with the documents in hand. "Before we discuss my lawn," I said, "let's discuss the retaining wall that never existed." Gasps rippled through the room as I read her forged invoices aloud, page by damning page. Deborah tried interrupting, insisting it was an accounting error, but her own treasurer wouldn't back her up. Turns out the treasurer had been threatened too, silently documenting everything, waiting for someone brave enough to speak first. Within a month, Deborah was removed from the board in a unanimous emergency vote, stripped of every title. County prosecutors picked up the fraud case, adding embezzlement charges on top of the false police report. She lost her house too, ironically foreclosed by the very bank she'd once threatened others with. Last I heard, she was awaiting trial, banned permanently from serving on any HOA board again. My lawn stays a perfect 3 inches now, cut on my own schedule under a sky finally quiet and fair.